Hi guys, hope everyone's doing well. So Samuel sent this screenshot of a job vacancy for a graphic artist and content developer to the group, and I think he wanted to make a point about how ridiculous the offer was in terms of financial remuneration. So these people were offering between 15,000 and 25,000 per month for this job. And yeah, really, when you look at it at first, you those numbers kind of scare you. That it seems ridiculously low for any job. You understand? It seems ridiculously low for any job. However, this I agree with all that has been said on the group in terms of how ridiculous it seems. However, we need to be careful of this narrative of judging whether a job is worth taking based on the numbers attached to it in terms of what you'll be paid at the end of a month. I think we need to be careful because a lot of times we miss out on valuable opportunities because we are so fixated on numbers and we get discouraged because of numbers. Now, numbers in today's world have become a big obstacle. So you are doing something on social media, but you are looking at the number of followers you have, the number of likes, and you're like, this content is not good because of this number. That's that is not a very accurate way of judging anything. We've been controlled by numbers too much. Numbers and alphabet have controlled our lives since we started school. And school is the one that's fault for these numbers taking over our lives. Because then you go to school, you're given an A, a B, a C, a D, E, F, you understand? And that makes you feel I am an F student, I'm an A student, you understand? You're given one position in the class, first, second, third, and you now struggle with your identity because you are 23rd. And I know because I struggled with my identity based on a number on my report card. Um, and all through my schooling years, it was like that. Numbers controlled our lives. And then when we leave school, the number in our bank account controls how much confidence we have, how many zeros do we have in our bank balance. You understand? And then you think, okay, I am not successful based on this number that I have as my bank account balance. And social media didn't make anything better in the sense of, oh, you are now looking at your following, your number of likes, you look at how many views you have, and you're like, this is not working out because I'm having this many views. And I fall into that rut too sometimes where I look at some of my content and I'm like, this was better than this because this one had this many views, this many likes, this many comments. But that's not that doesn't really make any sense. You understand? It's really not the indicator of value. I know that might be controversial for a lot of you, but it's not the indicator of value. Number is not the indicator of value. And spiritually, we know that this is the case because the Bible tells us the way to life is narrow. Not only is it narrow, a few people tread it. A few people. The way to destruction is broad and is crowded. And that's one way the Bible has told you you cannot judge value by how many people approve of a thing. And the same thing here, I'm going to talk about job opportunities. Let's not always be swayed by numbers. Let's not always play this numbers game. This numbers game is a very dangerous game. And a lot of us are missing opportunities because of numbers. No. Um, you know, when you're looking at things to look out for, whether take a job or not, don't always think of how much you are going to go home with. It is hard, but in the end, if you want to be happy with life and fulfilled, don't always think. The people that think of numbers are the people that have not really sorted out what their life values are. So if you don't know your values, you won't know your number. You'll be values will dictate numbers will dictate your values. Just like if you don't know your personal value, the number of followers you have will dictate whether you feel you're an important person or not. Values would always put number in perspective. identifying your values would always help you to put numbers in perspective. And what I mean by this job is not a bad job. It might not be right for everyone, but this job is absolutely right for some people. Some people that just want to start out in design. And I was once that person. I'm sure a lot of you were once there. Just that opportunity to work as a designer somewhere, for them, is gold. That it even comes with some money is incredible. You understand? That even comes with some money is, for them, is like the icing on the cake. They're like, I'm going to work for the first time in the capacity of a graphic designer, and they're going to pay me something that can even cover some of my transport. Is incredible. And I think we need more people that are willing to see money as an icing on the cake, not the cake itself. The problem is we've made these numbers the cake itself. It is the work, the willingness and the eagerness to do the work. And for somebody to say, I'm willing to trust you to do the work, that's the cake. Do you understand? That in itself is the cake. Look, when I started doing design, I'll tell you something. I was willing to pay a particular guy to be coming to his office, to be working and learning, to pay him. The only problem was that he wanted me to pay him 30K. I didn't have 30K. I was willing to pay him 10K. I was willing to pay to be a graphic designer, to work as a graphic designer. Does that sound logical? No, but you see, for me, that opportunity just go somewhere and just put on a system. Because I didn't have a system of my own then, but to put on a system and to launch Corel Draw. Man, that for me, that was the life. You understand? I was willing to pay. I was willing to deny, and I wasn't earning then, but just to like deny myself some of the pocket money I had to pay this guy. I think we need more people in the industry that are not looking at the numbers, because numbers won't last forever. Now, where I am right now, although I'll come to where I am right now, but I haven't done 20 years. I got to a place where I was being paid well to do design. So that phase didn't last too long, but that hunger allowed me to get to a place where my work could be good. So this is not a ridiculous job by the figures or the numbers that they're offering to pay. So what we normally think is, if we have a job willing to pay a graphic designer 1 million a month is a good job, that might be a bad job. Because if you're now going to a job that pays you 1 million but breaks your esteem, leaves you doing a particular expression of design that you don't like, every time they're just telling you, edit the text. I worked in a place in Canada. The place I worked in Canada after school, they offered me a job as a graphic designer. I was one of the first people in my class to get a job as a graphic designer. One of the first people. And this is where I will segue a bit. All this jackpot. Work is hard abroad, though. Work is hard to get, even if you go to school. It was hard then for me many years ago. I can imagine what it is like now. When we all finished school, postgraduate, interactive multimedia, we had certificate. Less than 10% of us found jobs. A lot of us went to work in convenience stores, fast food joints. Some people tried to start their own business field. A lot of the international students traveled back to their countries because they couldn't find work. That is the truth. I was so lucky because the people I was staying with, the woman, there was an opening for graphic designer in her place of work. So they employed me as a graphic designer. They were paying me pretty good. But then I hated the job. Because all I was doing, they had a monthly, it was a Catholic charity. They had a monthly pamphlet or a booklet they used to give out to send all over the world. Some used to come to Nigeria. It was called Our Lady of Fatima. All I was doing was editing. Is there a mistake? Is there a mistake? I will edit. I'll print it out. They'll send it to a proofreader. That guy will come back again, tell me I missed out a comma, I missed out this, all I was doing was editing. Very little graphic design work, but they were paying me well. People on the outside were like, Tola, you're so lucky. I felt like this was ridiculous. I felt like I was wasting my life away. In fact, at work, a lot of times I used to drift away, just go to too advanced websites and stuff, to the extent where they had to block other websites apart from the company website on my system, because they always used to see me browsing other websites because I was so bored. So when that was one of the things that even made me feel like I need to leave this Canada. You understand? Because this job I'm doing is not the correct job. You understand? And people are happy for me. You understand? Look, it is not about the figures. It is not. What I am doing right now with my life, I spend more time doing stuff that doesn't earn me money. I spend more time doing stuff that doesn't earn me money. In fact, I would say a good 80% of my activity doesn't have an invoice attached to it. Doesn't. But when it comes to fulfillment, I struggle to see from them they are more fulfilled than I feel right now, and then it's very, very hard. I've never been more fulfilled in my life than I am right now. But I spend most of my activity, most of my energy doing stuff that doesn't earn me money. And for me, it's absolutely worth it. Because you know what? Whenever I think of Tola, what are you doing right now? You're speaking, you're teaching, you're not really earning much. What I go back to is my early graphic design days, and I realized the early days too, I wasn't earning much as a graphic designer. I just wanted to work. So now people call me to talk, I'm too eager to go and talk. It's not about how much they're going to pay me. People pay me. They pay me a honorarium. Not everyone, but people pay me honorarium. You understand? Some people give me gifts. A lot of them give gifts. You understand? They give me gifts. I have a lot of gadgets at home right now that are not stuff I bought with my money. Just I went to go and speak, they gave me. You understand? A lot of stuff. You understand? But some of them give me money. You understand? But then it's not about that. It's the opportunity to speak and to teach and to mentor. That's what I do. You understand? So if we judge this job as a bad job, then I'm doing an absolutely bad job right now. So that is not the matrix. Because what I do to encourage myself a lot of times is, am I fulfilled? Yes. Then I go back to my early graphic design days. I was so fulfilled doing graphic design for almost nothing. But then did it stay that way? No. I climbed to a very high place in the industry. And I tell myself, it's just the same thing. The same thing right now. Life is a cycle. Very soon too, the speaking teaching thing will take a life of its own. You understand? But you can't make the figures the focus. And that's what I want to share with you guys today. This job might not be right for you, but for somebody, it's an expression to start with. Let's not share this opinion too much, that because by doing that you are discouraging the person that needs that expression for 15k. For them, it's a good deal. Don't disturb them, their journey. You have moved way beyond that. I will not do graphic design for 15k anymore. I will not do I won't even take a graphic design job for 1 million, 2 million per month. I wouldn't take it. You understand? It's too low for me at this time. But that's me 20 years deep. For you to pay me to do graphic design, I don't know what, you can't even pay me because I love what I'm doing too much right now. You understand? But then someone just starting out, that's incredible money for them. You understand? And they won't stay there. But let's not truncate their journey by discouraging this kind of jobs being, or thinking the employer is wicked doing this. No, to some extent, that's what they can afford. That's the value they put on graphic design. It's not their fault per se. But maybe after working with this person that is so eager to work for 15k, their mentality of graphic design would rise and say, whoa, till we started working with you, we didn't know this thing was of much value. Now we know it's of value. When I came back to Nigeria, I worked in a company as their web design guy. I was in charge of web design. They put me there to set up their web design department. Now, what happened was when I got there from Canada, Canadian degree, I gave them how much I wanted to be collecting. They said, you can't pay this, so because Mamon, our chairman, doesn't really believe in this web design thing. It is us trying to push it. So they were paying me a ridiculous salary, but I believe that there was something in web design. I worked there for a year and a half. By the time I left there a year and a half, their mentality of web design had changed. They were like, this thing is so much value. And now they still have a web department, and they are paying them much better than they were paying me to set up the web department. So I had to come to work for a ridiculous price for them to know the value. So if nobody works the 15K um, offer for the client that doesn't know the value of graphic design, then how would the client ever know the value? Someone must come and prove the value. So that's what I want to let you guys know. Don't let numbers and alphabets control your life. Let value control your life.